Timing, accuracy, and power. 3 of the ingredients that make up the most definitive and crowd-pleasing ways to claim victory, the knockout. Crowds cry for them, fighters live for those moments. Octagon MMA finished 2022 with a bang. 2023 looks set to be our biggest year ever. This is the first episode of the year, so strap in, because this is Octagon Hype. So welcome. So welcome back to Octagon.
Welcome back to Octagon Hype.
Not doing it. Nope. Not starting the show. Not happening. I know this is supposed to be the first show of the year. Bring him up. Get him up in the box. That Joshua Gudgeon. In fact, change his name. Forget Josh Gudgeon. Get that stupid name out of the way. Joshua, because you're in trouble today this way. And I know it says producer, but cross that out. Traitor, put that underneath. Yes.
Welcome.
Listen, for those who don't know what is going on, somebody who I would go as far as saying, and I don't use these words lightly, I would consider you a work colleague. I bring you to these events, Josh. I bring you to the events. I get the opportunity to do these wonderful vlogs. And last year, ladies and gentlemen, the star that was born, Joshua Gudgeon, he attacked me. I'm going to show you exactly what happened and why I'm so hurt.
I'm breaking me commentary virginity tonight. What's proper commentary attire? I'd only
datum point.
Yeah, our gauge. Yeah, our gauge is Bryan. So we thought he always wears that white shirt with a little black tie. So we thought it'd be good if we turn up dressed exactly the same as Bryan. You better not, God.
He's up there. Look, he's going down the stairs. Lad, he's not wearing it. No.
The effort.
Oh my God.
We can dress as you.
Honestly. Oh, it's like the softest bouncers I've ever seen in my life.
We've dressed as you.
This is you always dressed like this?
Oh. Yeah, sure. What do you reckon? The two Bryans.
Welcome.
Back to Octagon Hype.
Go yourself. So, what are you going to say? What have you got to say?
Gold, mate. Come on. That was good, wasn't it? Imagine thinking of that and then we put it into action. You didn't even know either. We just went out there, did it.
It was amazing. So let's start again. Welcome. This is Octagon Hype. My name is Bryan, Lacey, and give him his real name back. Put it back. Josh Gudgeon. Welcome back, mate. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What an end to 2022 though. That vlog, and it's up now, it's out now. Go check it out. The vlog for Octagon 38. Because once again, I mean, you look at December alone, Octagon 37, the vlog you did for that, the 7 knockouts, the craziness that came with the Ostrovar Arena. Then we were in Prague, 20,000 people. We had Paul Smith, the comedian, friend of the show, come over to do some commentary, but also a little treat that we announced at that event as well. It was magic, mate. And once again, proud of your vlog.
Thank you. I mean, I can't believe the response. And it was weird because there were people saying, oh, it's like people had spotted me when we were out there. Yeah, it's gone down amazing, hasn't it? I think it's just like what an opportunity to be able to do it. But then for people to enjoy it so much, it's so good. And
the seats, mate, because you get to sit right behind. And this is the bit I love because we react to each other as it's going on. And the event, again, it just delivered, mate. It was 20,000. First of all, just describe what, from your side, the atmosphere of 20,000 people in an arena like that.
I think it's funny because Octagon, they just seem to have this ability to bring the family and the crowd out. So like the arena, that's the biggest arena I've ever been in. 20,000 people before the first kickoff, so before the first fight, and it's just roaring. And I was like, this is unbelievable. And what a beautiful like arena, like the whole like Prague is beautiful. I've never been before. So to be able to experience that as well, it was unbelievable. And then the fights they delivered, man.
They were great. Let's talk through some of them. So look, we're going to go through the knockouts because we love a knockout, don't we? We love a knockout. And the second fight of the night, which was Radovan Uska, he was supposed to fight on the last card, the Octagon 37 in Ostrovar. He was supposed to take on Al Matavau. Matavau missed weight. Uska said, I'm not fighting him when he's 80. I think he was 96 kilograms or something. So he said, look, I'm going to step away. They then got him this fight on this card against Ollie Magner. Now, Ollie Magner did what a lot of people didn't think he could do, Josh. He hurt. Usyk on the feet, like badly rocked him. You saw him go back to the cage. The equilibrium was all gone. But I think that punch, as devastating as it seemed to Usyk, did something worse to Magner, and it gave him confidence, because then they went toe-to-toe, and Magner, I don't know if he's watched the highlights of Radovan Usyk, who has now got 7 first-round wins, 7 first-round knockouts, and it was one hell of a finish, right?
It was unbelievable. Like you said, he was hurt, he was rocked. He jumped on, it ended up in Mount, didn't he? He almost went for a guillotine, slipped out. Yeah. So you're looking and you go, what is going on? Like Mount, like a dominant position, he goes for a submission. But yeah, it just lit a fire in him, and then they just started swinging. And I mean, men that size, like with that sort of power, there's only one way it's going to end. It
was devastating, and it happened right in front of us as well. Like where we were commentating and where you were sat doing the vlog, it was almost touching distance, so you could feel the power, you see it resonate. After the fight, Usyk made a nice, interesting statement. He said, I might think about dropping from middleweight to welterweight if I can get in that game changer tournament. Now, you see the power he's got at middleweight and what he's doing to middleweights. As a welterweight, you got to be petrified, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fair play to him though. I'd be chasing that money. Go for it, dude.
I'm even thinking of cutting, but I think it might take a little bit longer. The other thing, Ollie Magner, what a legend, because we went back to the hotel. He got all of his checks. He got his medical checks, went to the hospital, suffered a broken jaw. And we walked into him enjoying his post-fight meal, which was through a straw and soup. And his coach, who was with him, going, he was just laughing. Now he's got Christmas drinking soup through a straw. He might make welterweight himself for that tournament. So unbelievable stuff. The next knockout, and it was also like a hero's welcome for Mate Mane Peñas, undefeated in the Octagon cage, stepped away, went into Dana White's Contender Series, lost a fight there in, I think it was something 47 seconds, got caught by a guillotine, but lost his confidence as well. And the welcoming he got back into the open arms of Octagon was something to behold. But also what was to behold was his striking, his range, his power, because he managed to finish El Tigre dos Santos with a devastating combination, which now sets up a beautiful fight, a fight for Bratislava, because the story outside of this fight was his back and forth with Chepo, Vlasto Chepo. Chepo was the last man. He beat the guy that Peñas couldn't finish, Gianni Melis. And now Peñas has knocked out the last guy to beat Chepo, which sets up a beautiful meeting in Bratislava, April 29th. They will go toe-to-toe. The grudge match will happen. Then we had Montagnac taking on Didi Skvor. Didi Skvor coming in, 5-fight win streak, looking phenomenal in his mixed martial arts career, moving over from kickboxing, Muay Thai, taking on Montagnac. Montagnac is known as a decision guy. All of his wins before that, all of his fights, in fact, all 4 fights had been decisions. Montagnac came out and did this. Josh, it was one hell of a knockout.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that he'd not finished. You wouldn't know. I would have known that. Look at that finish. That. Wow. Yeah.
And what makes it even more impressive is Montagnac, he had 2 fights in Octagon and then he disappeared for a while. I didn't know what had happened. And I spoke to him. He had a motorcycle accident. So he fell off his motorbike and he broke both bones in his right hand. So he's been recovering from that. That's affected, his training, what he can do as far as striking. But he came back looking even better, Josh. And to get the finish over someone like Didi Skvor after coming through that sort of adversity in his own real life outside the cage, it's beautiful.
It was so impressive. It was a devastating knockout. And one thing that's sort of like... You know me, mate. I get excited. I get really excited.
He gets very excited.
And I get excited for any knockout. Like, I'm not biased, but it tends to be when the hometown guy gets knocked out. There's only me screaming in the arena. Me and you. so if you watch the vlog,
it's my job, though.
I jump on, I'm like, ah! And he's like, there's like tumbleweed and crickets behind me in the arena. 20,000 people silent. I was like, oh, it's still impressive knockout though.
And Didi Skvor took it really well. He put a post up as well because he finished one of his fights pretty much the same position, like on top, hammer fists. So he put a post up of Montagnac finishing him and him finishing another opponent and kind of going, this is the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is it. So understanding that losses come and that again, that's a great way to take that. Losing with dignity as well is as important as winning with grace as well, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I love that.
Let's move on to Lahore. Alex Lahore taking on Juracek, Matos Juracek. Now, you witnessed this one next to Oliver Salus, who is a good friend of Juracek. And again, the crowd was silenced because this was a great chess match between the two. The long, rangy game of Juracek using the outside of the cage, really circling, making it difficult for Lahore. But Lahore, for me, like, he's now linking up with Brad Pickett from Great Britain top team. And his game just evolving and going back down to welterweight as well, where he's had the most success. That was so cool to see him just keep his composure and have faith in his power, because I think, who was it? Montignac won the knockout of the night, but for me, I think this one took it. I think Lahore's third round finish, and it was that beautiful overhand right, the adjustments he made to close that range. That for me, that was my knockout of the night, Josh.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, this were a fantastic fight. So I was speaking to Oliver about Juracek, and he was saying that he's been out for a long time as well. And it took a long time out. He looked sharp. He looked in impeccable shape. Like, this was down to be like a great fight, and it definitely delivered. And again, like, that knockout was devastating. I jump up and I've got Oliver next to me. So I'm like screaming. Oliver's just like head in his hands. But again, that's the game.
This is the game, and this is, again, as a fan, the journey you go on, right? You have these highs and these lows, and you think about Lahore coming off the back of the knockout from Kinstill, the fighting for the middleweight title. Yeah. He's had those highs and lows. His fans have had those highs and lows. But to finish the year as he did, and in that way, that's a great moment for Alex Lahore, and he made the most of it as well, because I knew that he had his eyes on this game changer tournament. And then I asked him about it, and this is what he said.
The €1 million tournament in the welterweight division, the division you've had the most success, is upon us in 2023. What have you got to say there? Or is that knockout statement enough?
Yeah, so the boss is right here. Should we ask him, am I in the tournament?
Yeah, you are in the tournament. Congratulations.
So there we have it. Alex Lahore has earned his spot to earn his share of €1 million in this TipSport Game Changer tournament that kicks off March the 4th in Ostrava. It's not just game changing, it's life changing, right, Josh?
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money up for grabs. I love it. I love how everybody's just like, yeah, let's go.
Let's cut weight. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's put on the pounds or cut the pounds. So that sees him now move onwards and upwards. Speaking of moving onwards and upwards, we welcomed a guy called Gustavo Lopez. He took the interim bantamweight title fight against Filip Maček in Maček's home city on 10 days' notice after Magard sustained an injury. And Josh, what a performance this guy put on. I watched all of his fights, all the ones that I could find on either YouTube or anywhere else that you can watch the fights. And I was so impressed with his top game. Yeah. So impressed with his pressure. And he's only a small dude. I mean, he's a small bantamweight. And I legit think he could make flyweight. I really do think that he would be as equally as good at flyweight as bantamweight. But you said it in your vlog as you were talking it through, watching somebody with that control in that top position and then lock up a submission that gets a tap that quickly from somebody like Filip Maček, that is a statement, right?
I loved it. I mean, we're both jiu-jitsu guys, aren't we? So we can look at that and appreciate it for what it is. And it was elegant. It was floating. Like, it was floating on top. There was not one point where it even looked like you were off balance. And it was funny because we ended up following each other on Instagram, and he DM'd me and I messaged him.
Wait there. What?
Is he following you now? The champ? Anyway, I was speaking to Lopez, just like a couple of mates.
Gustavo? It's Bryan here. Josh's boss.
And I said to him,
he's following you on Instagram.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
What? Gustavo, come on, mate. Come on. This is the deal. He holds the camera. It's all changing. There's a power. It's like ancient Roman times. There's a power switch.
I love it. I'm sorry, mate.
I love it.
Took some nice pictures.
I love it. Go for it.
He basically said, he's like, I know that I've got the best ground game in the world, and I'm glad that I was able to prove it. And I said, absolutely. Like, it was beautiful to watch. So, like, congratulations, champ. And I think he's ready to go again, isn't he? Like, he barely, I don't even think he took a shot. So
it was almost flawless, because Maček actually looked very good and confident in the first few exchanges, but it took him one takedown. And you look back at Jonas Magard talking about his last fight where he won the title. 22 times Maček went to the ground, and Jonas is angry at himself that he couldn't finish him.
Yeah.
Lopez one time, and then his signature move, that guillotine.
Yeah.
And now he is the interim bantamweight champion. I asked him after the fight if he did have a message for our bantamweight champion, Jonas Magard. This is what he had to say.
Well, you got the tap, you got that quickly. You're the interim champion. Our bantamweight champion, Jonas Magard, is back home watching this, I'm sure. Any message for him down the camera?
Be ready. If we end up fighting each other, it's going to be better pressure than that. You got me on a 10-day notice.
So there you go, Josh. That's what he said. That's me with 10 days notice. 10 days, that's the pressure I bring in 10 days notice. Imagine what it would be like if I get a full fight camp. So let's ask the man who he was talking directly down the camera to. We've got with us now the bantamweight champion, Mr. Jonas "Shark" Magard. So here we go. We welcome, and I will say for a third time, Jonas, to Octagon Hype, because we interviewed you just before the last fight, and then everything that happened. So Jonas, first of all, how someone can have a broken face but still look so good looking is a wonder to me. Just explain to people what happened after our interviews and what was the cause of you coming out of that fight.
So yeah, after we had the interview, I was still in England doing the last preparation there, and I went back home, and I went to Redline and I did a little sparring session there, and then it got a bit heated, I think, the sparring from both sides, and me ending up getting a knee in the face that broke my chin bone. I didn't really feel it in the start. I just felt like a knee, and it was just the impact I felt, and I was just a bit annoyed. There is a video of it, and you've seen it. So I just went down, and he did a knee or a kick, but he landed on the side of my face, and I was just annoyed. And I went out, I took my gloves on, and I felt like I had like a hole inside of my face. So I let Akira, my coach, look at it, and yeah, he told me to go to the hospital. I did, and they could see it was broken in 3 places. So I needed surgery. So that sucked big time.
Did you feel a break, or was it only afterwards when Akira checked it?
No, I didn't feel a break. I just got annoyed. You know, it was a dangerous knee. It was a dangerous situation, so close to the fight. And honestly, I felt like it was a hard punch, but I was not out. I didn't get knocked out, and I was just a bit irritated in the moment. Still happy that I didn't get a cut, because in the moment I didn't know what had happened until I took my gloves off. I was gonna go another round actually, but then I took my gloves off, and just to get back into it a bit, and then I just felt like a hole in my head. So yeah, and I couldn't really open my mouth either. I could feel it. So in first I thought maybe it was a muscle that hit and it like cramped or something, but yeah, they found out it was a break, and then I had to go. It was not like I went directly to the hospital. I had to take the train back home. It's like 1.5 hours in the train, and,
oh my God.
And then calling the Danish hospital, go there. They were pretty quick to get me in and stuff, and I was a bit sad at that point because I knew at that point that the fight might be over. But even at the hospital, I was like, when they found out it was a break and stuff, I asked because they was gonna give me a surgery on the day. That was the plan. So I asked if they could like wait till after the fight because I felt.
So you still whoa, stop. So you still wanted to fight with a broken cheek?
Yes, of course.
Wow.
Like, of course. I've been training so many months for this fight, and to go out there and I put so much promotion, I put so much energy into this fight that I didn't feel like it was like an injury that would like stop me from performing in a way. It would, because probably if I got hit there, it could have gone like worse. That's what the doctor said. So they said no chance I could fight. But even after I found out it was broken, I still wanted to fight, obviously. I put so much energy. I felt so ready for this fight, and I was just like, okay, just let me fight. I've seen people fight with broken jaws and stuff before in the fight when it happens. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna cut weight anyways. But they said, the doctor said there was no chance they would let me let me fight an Octagon as well. They would not let me fight because it could have I could have serious damaged myself even more.
And what is the recovery then? Because this is what now we've just had Octagon 38. The question I'm getting asked a lot is, when do we think that the fight will happen between you and Gustavo? So what's your recovery been like, and what's your plan as far as what month, what date would you look towards for getting back in there?
So they said that I could start training slowly, like 2 weeks after recovery, after the surgery. And I was doing some running and training like 1 week after, and I got a checkup, and they said that my recovery was very, very, they've never seen anything like it. Normally what I've recovered in 1 week, it's what they see people like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. So yeah, in that case, it's a good thing. I'm just staying in shape. I've took some days off, obviously, for like a week or something, because I have been in fight camp and it's been hard for my body. So I was peaking. And I need to slow it down a bit so I can peak again. So I took some days off, but it's hard for me because this is the only thing I do. So I just try to stay in shape. I rather stay in shape than get in shape. I hate getting in shape. It's the worst thing I know. Being out of shape and then getting into fight shape. So I'd rather just stay in shape, and that's what I'm doing right now. I cannot do impact training for 2 months, they said. Then I can start doing impact. So let's say 1.5 months, and then I'll start trying. But yeah, so let's see. I just want to stay ready. So as soon as I'm ready to do my sparring, I only need a month. I think that's what I'm aiming for. So after they give me the green light, I just want to stay in shape and be ready so I can just go a month after. You know, just to get my reaction back with the sparring and stuff. So that's my plan. I don't want to sit out. I want 3 or 4 fights this year, and everything happens for a reason. Let's see. It was a good fight. It was annoying to watch that fight as well, because that's what I was going to do to Philip, what Gustavo was doing there. And just, I felt like a little bit like after Carlos and that fight went off, it was depending a bit on me. That fight, I sold that show a little bit, you know what I mean? So seeing these 2 guys going out there and get the shine that I've really built up, it was a bit annoying, but it is what it is.
Set the scene for us then. Did you watch it live? Where were you? Did you watch it live? And what was your reactions to Gustavo's performance?
Yeah, I watched it live. My reaction was, I just think he did what I expected him to do. I know this guy. Like, I actually trained with this guy. It's like 11 years ago or something, when I first started doing MMA. I went to Las Vegas, and he was just starting he came from wrestling or something. And I did so because we were not a lot of small guys back then in Extreme Couture. So I remember he was hanging a lot out with Bryan Caraway, who was in the UFC at that time, and he was together with Misha Tate, and I think they knew each other from wrestling, and he had brought him over. So he's never had a fight at this time, actually, when I trained with him. So wow. I knew him, and I knew his game plan, and I knew what he was going to do. And I've been following him a little bit, like, since that time, seeing where his career is going and stuff like that. So just knowing that, I knew that this was going to be the case of the fight.
After the fight, I asked him the question if he had a message for you, and he said, that's me on 10 days. Imagine the pressure I'll bring to you if I get a full fight camp. What's your response to that?
But that's the same for me. The thing about, people don't get the thing about short notice fights. A lot of times it's more pressure for the guy who's been preparing, like, let's say 8 weeks for one specific guy. And then in 10 days, they get opponent changed. The other guy have stayed ready, all these things. So I feel you cannot really say that, because there's the other side of this as well. I'm going to be preparing as well for this specific guy. Philip was not preparing for him. Philip didn't think I was going to go take him down, because I didn't do it in the last fight. And you could see Philip's striking. he believed in his striking a lot, and then he went for this shit takedown, and Gustavo just punished him there. So he had to fight a totally different style as well, Philip. And if I'm prepared for like whatever weeks it is, now I have a name, now I have a target. Let's see if the fight happens. If it doesn't happen, I'm always ready. So, yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
Does it excite you that there is somebody else in the division now at that level? Is that motivating for you? That is, because again, you were talking about the rematch before with Maciek. There was other names thrown out that maybe didn't have the experience in Octagon, didn't have the profile, the build, but now this guy's come in. He's going to be a new challenge for you. Is that kind of something you need as well? If you were to be doing a fight camp for a third time for Maciek, would that be difficult for you?
This new guy coming in with a lot of experience, a big team, and he has a name. That's what I want. That's why I'm in this game. Like I was thinking the other day, like there's a new generation now. Like I call them like the Conor generation. They come in, they want to talk, they want to show off. And I see it in Octagon a little bit too. They want to talk more than they actually have shown and stuff. And that's their motivation and stuff. But and they want the money and stuff. But the thing is, when I started this sport, there was no money, there was no fame. So what really made me do this sport? Maybe I'm just crazy in my head and I want to fight the best guys. And that's what I really think it is, because I've been doing a lot of thinking. And I must say, after this injury happened, I did feel sorry for myself for like one day. And I went to the toilet, I looked myself in the mirror and I spit it on the mirror, because I should never feel sorry for myself. Everything happens for a reason. And that's what you need to do. And it's just about moving forward. So when Gustavo won, I couldn't ask for more.
You've also mentioned to me that you're going to maybe put together a way people can follow your journey of recovery, right? Is this like a vlog or some sort of, social media series where people can see what you've gone through and what it's going to take to get you back up there? Is that still on the cards?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm filming a little bit here and there. I'm looking for some sponsors, maybe people who would think it would be interesting, because first of all, I have footage of when the injury happened, and then I've been filming myself, like doing bits here and there and my recovery and stuff like that, and just to show people that even when things like that happens, there's always a way back. And for me, this fight is actually like this comeback fight, I would like to call it, is actually it's a bigger thing than myself. It's also to prove I have a little son, and I wanna show him that you should never give up no matter what. You are against yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. And so for me, this comeback fight is very, very important, because it goes beyond myself, and that's and I want to give people a insight in that journey. But yeah,
we left Gustavo giving a message to you down the camera. Have you got a message for Gustavo for the fight that might be next for you?
I think his message was a bit weak, wasn't it? Honestly, in the cage, you know what it was? I think his focus is somewhere else. To be honest, that's what the message that I got when I saw it, because he was like a little bit like, yeah, let's see if we ever meet, face each other, and just stay ready, So I didn't really feel it, Bryan. I didn't really feel it. Like I feel like his focus is somewhere else. I think his focus is getting back into the UFC, and my focus is to defend my belt. So that's why I want to leave it, and that's cool. It's cool, but just two different visions,
So that's Jonas Magard. That's his response. And Josh, what a fight that is going to be between those two.
Sign me up, man. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the Octagon fans to know more about Lopez and to see what Magard comes in like, because he's a scary dude.
And it's a new challenge. Like that bantamweight division feels very thin, but now you've got Lopez in there. It's mixed it up. I know they've got a few more names they're going to answer the next few weeks as well to enter that division. So exciting times in the bantamweight bracket. Exciting times as well for Octagon MMA in 2023. We announced the project. We brought over one of our friends, a former guest on this podcast, Mr. Paul Smith, comedian extraordinaire, now turning into a pro fighter for 2023. Let's have a little look at the promo.
In 2023, the Octagon Circus will cross Europe and enter the UK for the very first time. To launch this venture, we bring you a special project, the likes of which has never been seen before. 2 UK stars that no one would expect to see inside the Octagon cage. We introduce the first of these 2 men to you now.
I'm Paul Smith. I'm a comedian from Liverpool in the UK, and I'm 40. In 10 months' time, I am going to fight professional MMA because I am clearly having a midlife crisis.
I mean, I think he's mental. I think he's insane.
One of the few people to just use the internet without anyone telling him he was going to be famous or that he could get on any of these big TV shows just through being brilliant. The albino rage, the red gobbler. Oh my God.
One of Britain's most famous stand-up comedians will face a challenge he has only ever joked about.
The training started, I'm a few weeks in. I'll be honest, it hurts a lot. I'll be doing it I'll be donating all my purse to Weapons Down, Gloves Up, which is a charity.
Over 10 months, they will sacrifice all in preparation for their journey, from the stage to the cage.
He's 40 now. What sort of age is that to make your debut in mixed martial arts? Like, he could get killed.
And his opponent, one of the UK's most recognisable reality TV stars, will be revealed to you all very soon.
I'll smash him. I'm going to train as hard as I can. I'm only doing this once, so I'm going all in.
Stage to the cage, coming soon to octagon.tv.
How exciting is that? How
excited.
exciting is it that we've got somebody like Paul Smith up for going on that journey, mixing his life, which is a crazy life, on tour now, a huge tour he's got going out this year. Yeah, he's going to mix it up with preparing for making his walk from the stage to the cage at the end of this year against an opponent we have yet to announce, Josh.
I'm so excited for it. I think Paul's just a massive MMA fan. So I think he sees the opportunity just a one bucket list, tick it off.
Skydive, right? It's you jumping out of a plane.
Yeah.
While getting punched and kicked in the face.
Yeah, rather him than me. You know, he's going to do it for charity as well, which is incredible. Yeah. I just think he sees this opportunity to live a dream. So yeah, sign me up.
Sign him up again. Well, we gave him a little taste as well because we made the promo, and then Andre and Pavel said, "Look, let's get a walkout. Let's get him out in front of the Czech and the Slovak fans." It was amazing, Josh, right? So let's have a little look at Andre announcing him and this moment where he got to walk out and feel 20,000 fans.
Paul Smith!
So you're with him, Josh. You came out, right, you prepared with him behind the scenes, then walked out into the arena. What was that like?
Mate, I've still got goosebumps. It was that good. I mean, he came out to Thunderstruck, which is like one to get everybody happy.
Oh, and the crowd went mad for it as well, right?
They blew the roof off the place.
Maybe the loudest cheer for a walkout that night, I reckon.
Absolutely. And you can see Paul's just grinning from ear to ear. And at the end of it, he comes up to me and goes,
I smashed that.
Yeah, you smashed that. You smashed that.
Yes, mate, you smashed that.
What a moment that is. So look, we are going to talk to him. We had him on the podcast before. We had him on Octagon Hype, and we couldn't mention any of this. So let's now dig deep into what will be an amazing 2023. And we are so pleased to welcome Paul Smith. So here we are. The cat is out of the bag, quite literally, mate. You're going to make your pro debut in 12 months. Look at you all kitted up. Look at you, mate.
Just how I live now. Just wander around, do the shopping.
The life of a fighter. Those gloves suit you, mate. 4-ounce gloves as well, buddy. 4-ounce gloves. Look. We dropped the promo. You made that amazing cage walk. We've just shown the audience that as well. How did all this happen, mate? Whose fault is this that you're going to have a fight in 10 months' time?
Well, I got a message. Well, it must be about 6 months ago. I don't particularly like this guy, but he's a bit of a weasel. So immediately I was like, don't really want anything to do with him. But he's got a way of just slithering into your brain.
Hey, listen, if I was If I was a Harry Potter at Hogwarts, I think Slytherin certainly would have been my house, mate. I'd have put you more of a Hufflepuff, but now I know that
Hufflepuff. No, me and
you
Josh,
and you.
Gryffindor, defo, wouldn't we?
You'll be 100% Gryffindor, you guys. You 100% would. So look, the news is out. What's the response been like? I've seen your social media and you put a post up. What's the response been?
Very positive, to be honest. Both from the public and the MMA community, which is quite nice. I wasn't sure because sometimes in the past, like I said to you, when you first got in touch with me about doing stuff, about doing this, because I love MMA, much like yourself. And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to come across as it being, when I've been offered things like this in the past, it's been on all celebrity cards. And I found that to be a little bit disrespectful because it rubbed me up the wrong way that like we could fill an arena for people to see me fight, but then you got like amazing fighters out there who aren't getting that audience and really deserve it a lot more than I do, put a lot more work in and stuff like that. But I think the thing that Octagon are doing right is that they're giving us a lot more time to train, which I've never been offered before. When every time anything like this has come up before, it's always been like, 8 weeks training camp and then you'll jump in a cage and you'll do it. It was like always like amateur rules, and it was always half-assed, to be honest. Where Octagon are giving us a long time to train with good people, and they're putting us on a card with real fighters. So hopefully, if we manage to bring some people in who aren't necessarily MMA fans already, hopefully that just when they see us fight. I really hope we put a good fight on. But you'll definitely. I've been to 2 Octagon cards now. They're guaranteed some good fights. Especially if we can, some of the fighters, if we can get some of the good up and coming UK fighters on the card, I think it's gonna be a night to remember all around. So yeah, I'm really excited to be part of it, and I'm loving the journey so far. My body is semi-broken. But last week was a tough week. The first full week of like full tour, full training, and I'm sore in the best possible way. I'm hurting, and my ears I'm getting a nice bit of cauliflower on my ear.
The badge of honor that is the cauliflower ear is coming, mate. But this is the other side, because the whole thing is pitched as this stage to the cage, and for people that aren't familiar with it, especially when we introduce you to the Czech and the Slovakian audience, and the other regions of Europe, your life is crazy because your tour at the minute is sold out, and it is pretty much, what would you say, 3 or 4 nights a week you're out on the road now?
Yeah, pretty much 4 nights a week most weeks, some nights double shows, and that goes right through. This fight lands literally like about 4 weeks before the tour ends, so I'm literally gonna have to do some shows, do this fight, and then hopefully not get injured so badly that I can't do the shows that are like 3 days later. The people of Aberdeen might be getting a comedian wheeled out in front of them.
Hannibal Lecter style, literally on one of those things, just brought towards the microphone. And let's talk about the training as well, because we had you on the podcast before and we'd teased this and we'd kind of shaken hands on what the project would be, but we couldn't talk about it on Octagon Hype because nothing was released. Now we can, so we can talk about the nuts and bolts of it. You talk about who you're training with, and we'll talk about who you've also, while you've been on tour, connected with as well. But your base camp is going to be Blackledge MMA under the wonderful, the great Tom Blackledge, right?
Yes, and what a man. I've just been in with him this morning doing some technical pad work and kind of working me boxing. He's just, when you speak to someone who knows so much about something and it just grabs you, it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
I find fighting fascinating anyway, but I think any topic in the hand of someone who's passionate about it is beautiful and fascinating. And the way he just breaks stuff down, like that day when you came and filmed the promo, and he was correcting me, my right cross, and he made me because my arm was flaring out, so he made me stand against the wall and throw it. So I couldn't flare my arm out, and you just little things like that, you know, and you just see someone who can just see details. And I said I've had I've been with him a couple of months. Well, yeah, a couple of months now, getting in there and rolling with the lads and doing a bit of sparring. And I had the best compliment I've had was someone saying, "Oh, I can tell you've been training with Tom," which made my day.
And what's it been like as well? Because that's the camp of James Lewis. James Lewis, who's fighting in February on February 11th against Nicholas Stoltz.
He's looking very good, by the way.
Really? Because what's it like being in there with actual fighters as well? As in, like, because we've trained jiu-jitsu a bit before, and you go into the classes, and it's sort of the hobbyists, and some of the pros might drop down, but you're going full on into the not just the pro training, but the pro sparring as well, right?
A lot of I've been lucky enough to have good people around me, good high level people who will push me, but are not going to break me in half or knock me out or anything like that. So that's been quite good. But I mean, I think it depends on your mindset as well. I've got one of them weird mindsets where I kind of like being the underdog. I kind of like being underestimated. And it's just, you get in there and you get crushed, but you come out feeling great for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
It's crazy. It's beautiful as well, because most sessions are morning, right? So you do that in the morning, and then the rest of your day is different. I remember when I was training for my one and only fight, it was like 5, 6 in the morning. We'd get there, finish by 8:30, 9 o'clock, and everyone's starting their day. And you went, I've just had the crap kicked out of me for 2 hours. I've done all that, and you guys are only having your first cup of coffee. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It really is. It's the best form of antidepressant I've ever found in my life. It's really, I've said this time, been saying this over the last couple of months, and I said it at the top. It's such a good group, but above everything, it's really sorted my head out. It's really helped me out mentally. I mean, I'm not saying I was in a terrible place before I started it, but like I was making some bad choices, and now it's really got me kind of focused on something and I feel great. I wake up feeling sore and great at the same time every single day.
And you're doing this for the charity as well. We can talk about this now as well. Weapons down, gloves up, which I almost got wrong in the cage. I almost made it weapons up, gloves down, which there are some
as fluffs go, that would have been a bad one.
That would have been a terrible one, right? As fluffs go. But weapons down, gloves up, fantastic charity, one that you have very close to your heart. Molly, Meatball Molly McCann, she's one of the patrons, as well as Tony Bellew. Tell us a bit about that again, just so that we can sort of give them a bit of light as well, and the work they're doing.
Well, the idea of it was obviously it's come about, and there's a couple of similar campaigns like No More Knives and things like that in Liverpool. All great campaigns run by great people, and they kind of all work closely together just to try and show young people that there's other ways to go, because there's a lot of it's just escalating. I mean, there's always been problems with it, and there's always going to be problems with crime in cities, but like the amount of young people getting, innocent young people as well, getting killed by knives and guns, it's heartbreaking. It really is. And these charities are getting kids off the streets and showing them, getting them into combat sports, but also helping them. The money goes towards getting them into courses to help them get into meaningful work, and the kind of source jobs, and find them, help them that way as well. There's loads of different avenues that they're going down. Just really to stop, just to try and do something to bring these knife and gun crime statistics down, because I think it's, of all the things we can do in this day and age, that's one of the most important, I think.
What also got a lot of attention was your walkout. The noise and the welcome that you got from a foreign crowd welcoming you to this project, this Stage to the Cage project, that for me was, I think it was like the loudest pop of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the middle of it, so I wasn't, it seemed like that to me, but I wasn't sure at the time. I was stood, me and Josh were stood waiting to go. And we were kind of, I was bouncing around. I could feel, I felt like I was going to do something anyway. And I was in my head, I was like, these aren't going to be bothered. Yeah, these aren't going to be too bothered. And then I heard the music, and I thought I picked a good song here. And it started kicking in, and as I walked through that little threshold, and then the arena just opened out in front of me, and I heard that noise. It just took me, and I was like, "Yeah!" I started high-fiving people, and everyone started. I could just, the song itself is amazing because it's like thunder, but I could just hear them going thunder. It's phenomenal. It was phenomenal. If I could do that every day in my life, I would do it.
But the other thing we got you to do was a bit of commentary as well. You got to jump on the desk first of all before the show, and then do a little bit of commentary and sit right cage side. What was that like? How did you enjoy that?
I loved it. It was really. They're the best seats in the house, but like being that close to the action, and it's not being able to see that close. It's the sound. More than anything, it's the sound of it, that real, like, kind of when the punches connect and the kicks connect. It really generates the kind of
Well, the one that you got to call because Brad was in the corner was Alex Lahore in that knockout with Juracek, and what a finish, right? And
what a finish,
we both were off our seats banging each other like this as he finished it. And it was like those moments, like they stick with you. And for Alex Lahore in particular, because we know him from the UK scene, it was quite a magic moment to see him do that and then claim his spot in this game changer tournament as well after that, right?
Yeah, I was so happy for him. I think coming down to welterweight was definitely the right idea. He looked great. He looked good in that fight.
Right. Yeah,
I think he'll do very well. I'm hoping. I met him after I had a chat to him after the fight when we got back to the hotel, and he seems like such a good guy. And obviously, he's working with Brad and stuff, who's amazing. I'm hoping. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping James Lewis gets a shot at this €1 million as well after he beats.
That'd be nice, right?
Yeah. That'd be good.
You mentioned a few people there, and I've been following, obviously, on Instagram. We've been messaging on WhatsApp stuff about your training and where you're going and who you've been hanging out with. This tour was always a bit of a worry of yours of how it would work with training as well. But what's kind of opened up is an amazing array of legends that you can train with, right? This week you had Jimmy Wallhead, Dan Hardy, Cal Pacino, Cal Elnoff from up in the northeast. What's that been like?
As I said, I'm so lucky that people have been welcoming to me. It's I'm not the best organisational person, so it's going to be a nightmare just logistically figuring out where I'm going to be. But yeah, we've got some amazing gyms lined up. Like obviously we were saying last week with Hardy Wall. This week coming, I'm going up to Bad Company in Leeds to do some Thai with Liam Madison. Then we've got Shaw Gym down in Wales. We've got SBG over in Ireland. Brad said I can jump in. Arnold Allen's going to do me some training when I'm down in Colchester. I think somehow I'm going to end up with it's got to be. I'm going to try and figure it out at the end. But I'm going to write everyone down, and if anyone can come up with a better MMA team in the history of MMA,
it's phenomenal. But it must, as a fan though, it must be, pinch yourself stuff as well, right? Like you say, you don't fanboy out very often, but in this world,
I was fanboying at Jimmy, and then he was so nice. But I'm training with Jimmy. I'm just chilling, and Dan Hardy walks in, and I'm trying to be cool. You don't want to run straight over, so I'm like, I'm aware he's there. I'm just like, don't look straight to me. Just like act like it's normal.
Play it cool, Rodney. Play it cool.
Yeah. I waited about 10 minutes, and I was like, oh no, mate. Yeah, big fan.
Oh man, mate. Well, look. You are a legend, buddy. All that you're doing for this and seeing the journey you're going on, how fully you're going in. Like you say in the promo, you're doing this once, so you're going all in. It's inspiring, it's exciting, and I can't wait for people to see how it unfolds as we bring it to them over the weeks, over the months, towards the actual fight. So, I'm looking forward to it, and thank you so much, mate. It's exciting times, and what a way to start 23.
Yes, I know what. It's been a pleasure just meeting the pair of you. We've got friends for life, I think.
Oh, not the pair of us, just me, mate. Just me. Forget him. He's my bag man. He's a legend, though, right?
Me and Josh have had some times now. We've been on some adventures, me and Josh. We were broken men on the way back from Prague the other day.
but you made it, and it's all happening. So listen, you get back to your real world, and we'll speak to you soon. But thanks again, Paul. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, mate. I'll catch you soon.
What a guy, mate. What a guy. And if people knew the story of what was going on just a few days before that, and the fact that he might not have been able to make that trip to Prague, and then him dropping everything to come out to do us the favor, to give us the moment where we can build a promo and sell and announce our first steps into UK soil. What a guy.
Just goes to show, like, he's just he just loves the sport like we do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't knock him, can you?
So, look, that's just one reason 2023 is going to be so exciting. Stage to the Cage launch. Follow Paul. We'll announce his opponent very shortly. Stay tuned for that as well, because it is massive, and I'm looking forward to the response and to be able to talk to you about who Paul Smith will face at the end of this year in that Stage to the Cage finale. On top of that, 2023 Octagon MMA are bringing you this, the Game Changer, the TipSport Game Changer tournament.
In 2023, 16 elite fighters from all over Europe will enter a single pyramid and over 5 tournaments. They will fight for a share of 1 million euros in prize money. Already included are the #1 Hungarian fighter,
Curtis looking for the takedown, got the body lock.
Mate Kurtetz, German warrior.
He is summoning the Celt within him to furiously pound down.
Christian the Celt Junkworth. The only fighter outside of Europe will be Octagon fan favorite, the Brazilian Predator, Apollo Silva. Serbian Prometheus, Bojan Velikovic. The middleweight champion,
Look at this!
Patrick Kinkel. German superstar, Christian Eckerlin. The undisputed welterweight king, David Cosma. Plus, many more fighters from around Europe. They will all fight for their share of 1 million euros. And the winner of the grand finale will take home a check for 300,000 euros. Ladies and gentlemen, Octagon MMA brings you TipSport Game Changer. For more information, start following us on social media and octagon.tv.
So look, that alone is exciting, right, Josh? Just looking at the names on there, thinking about that 1 million euros. On top of that, looks like Usker might try and work his way into that tournament. On top of that, Lahore has just earned his spot to vie for his share of that 1 million euros. We've just announced 2 other fantastic names to the tournament as well. Martin van Zuidam, the Dutch champion, will enter the Game Changer tournament for that chance of his share of 1 million euros. Alongside that, Lewis Glissman, I think he's got a record of 9-2. He is stepping into this tournament as well. The interesting little bit of a fact between those two as well is they fought before. Glissman won it, I believe, second round knee bar over Van Zuidam, so they know each other. There is some stuff to settle between those two, and I'm sure they'll have their eye on each other as they try and work their way through the brackets. But that tournament kicks off in Ostrava, March the 4th. All 16 competitors will face off, and that will be the launch of the Game Changer, the TipSport Game Changer tournament. So now let's take a little look at what is next, where we are heading to next with Octagon MMA. That will go down February 11th. We are going to München, aka Munich in Germany. And look at this card. Look at the prelims alone. We've got Petrashek versus Pavel Langer in there. What a fight that is. You'll see Lozen Kieta, who fought in a Muay Thai fight at Octagon 38. He is coming down to featherweight. He wants that champ status. We have an opponent yet to be named for him, but that's exciting. Keep your eye on that one. And then working all the way through to the feature bout of that preliminary card. Robert Pukac, the legend that is Pukac, will take on debutant Dominic Schrober in our feature bout of the prelims. And then up and onward to the main cards. Look at this. Look at this. Opening it with Lengal versus Diego Sheik. That is a guaranteed banger. James Lewis, the UK's James Lewis, just signed a new contract with Octagon MMA, taking on Niklas Stoltz. Stoltz returning to Octagon. What a fantastic fight that is. And then just look at the co-main and the main event. Popek versus Zavada. Popek called for it. Zavada is stepping out of retirement, giving Germany the fight that they want, that light heavyweight bout. And then Christian Jungwirth will take on De Oliveira. De Oliveira, known for fighting another Christian Eckling, but now Jungwirth will attempt to do what Christian Eckling did in the last fight and try and finish De Oliveira. Again, Josh, look at this though for Jungwirth. Jungwirth is fighting on this card. He is part of the Game Changer tournament on March the 4th. This is the type of beast we are talking about. He is risking that fight or that opportunity with such belief in himself and where he is now and what he can do to Neves that he is going to fight February 11th. Then March 4th, he will fight again in the opening bouts of the TipSport Game Changer tournament. You can watch all of the action on octagon.tv/EN. Go there to get your pay-per-views. You can keep up with all the news, all the updates with us right here at Octagon Hype. Do what you always do. Follow us on social media, spread the word, subscribe to the channel because we are back next time with another fantastic Octagon Hype.